One final showdown for Bangladesh and yes, for Pakistan as well. There are some astronomical odds that if they manage to overcome, we'll have a tale that will be told till the end of time in cricket. For Bangladesh, it's been a much improved, much successful World Cup, which will be ending with a debut for the Bangladesh cricket team at Lord's. What better way for Mustafi Mortaza to play his last World Cup game? You're never quite sure when you say those sorts of things for some players. But Bangladesh v Pakistan is the focus of our attention on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019. Hello and welcome. I'm Rana Kapoor. Ajit Agarkar is here, so too is Daniel Vettori, and there'll be contrasting moods for these two teams. Again, I mean, at this stage, more so than even yesterday, there'll be teams like Bangladesh and Pakistan thinking, what if? Just one more game and we could have had a different equation.
Yeah, possibly, but then they've got themselves to blame.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, okay, they could argue there were a couple of rained off games, but the performances in some of the other games where they could have perhaps won the game and had a better chance of qualifying. Classic case is the game against India the other day of Bangladesh. You know, batted a little bit better, and they could have had a result they wanted. So they've got themselves to blame. Unfortunately, at least they've said the right things pre-game, that they both want to win and finish well.
I mean, we know the numbers that are up against Pakistan. They have to win by 316 to house New Zealand. You're not bothered about that, are you?
No, I'm still want the toss to happen. I mean, once we get the toss in favour of New Zealand, we can move on. There's always bragging rights for a well-run fifth place in the tournament, and both these teams have that chance. So, look, they can come home strong and they can finish on a positive, and I think that's the way that both teams will be thinking.
Well, the fact remains, while the conversation that is surrounding Pakistan cricket right now is about a debate between whether net run rate or a head-to-head should take precedence, fact is they must first beat Bangladesh to level on points with New Zealand. And if we look at Bangladesh as an opposition, that's going to be no easy game. We're looking at the head-to-head record between these two teams since the World Cup. Bangladesh have won 4 out of 4. That includes Asia Cup encounters as well. So make no mistake that Bangladesh are far from pushovers, and they have the wood over Pakistan. So let me say hello to Shahriar and Nafees. And whatever happens, Shahriar, if Bangladesh managed to get the 2 points here, this would be their best World Cup yet. They would be the best among the rest from teams that did not qualify for the semi-finals, and I guess even that would only take Bangladesh cricket forward, a win today against Pakistan.
You know, Bangladesh have had a great World Cup so far. The position in the point table doesn't show that, but still what I believe that the way Bangladesh has played in this World Cup, or the way they have competed in this World Cup, that was outstanding. You know, Bangladesh batting has been outbreaking in this World Cup. Shakib Al Hasan, what can you say about his performance? Playing for Bangladesh in a World Cup, competing against the best players in this world. So far, he's the second highest scorer. So, if you look at the World Cup, Bangladesh's performance, Bangladesh can take a lot of pride and confidence out of it. Bangladesh, if they could have bowled a little bit better, they could have taken more wickets in the first 20 overs. It could have been a different story. We could have been said that Bangladesh is trying to get number 1 or number 2 spot in the semi-final. So far it has been satisfactory and a great base for Bangladesh to build on for the future.
Right, and as we look at the Pakistan side of things, which they were hoping, they had left it in other people's hands. They needed either India or New Zealand to beat England. That hasn't happened. So obviously some slightly critical questions came the way of Sarfaraz Ahmed. Let's just hear what he had to say before this game.
Sarfaraz, just wondering, obviously there have been things decided about who goes into the final 4, wins comes into it, net run rate comes into it. Do you think there could be a better way to actually decide that in the future?
Yeah, you know, it is very difficult. You know, if 316 runs, it's a big margin. Only if you're batting first, if you score 600 runs or 500 runs. So I don't know what is the reason behind this, but I can't do anything.
क्या सरफराज विश कर रहा है कि बाद में भी कंटिन्यू करे एज कैप्टन, या कंसीडर कर रहे हैं कि जिन फॉर्मेट्स में आपसे परफॉर्म नहीं हो रहा या बातें उठ रही हैं उसकी कैप्टनशिप आप छोड़ दें?
देखें, जो भी डिसाइड करना है वो तो पीसीबी ने डिसाइड करना है, और जो भी विषय वो मेरे दिल में है इंशाल्लाह तो मेरे दिल में ही रहेगी।
सरफराज, आपकी कप्तानी में पाकिस्तान चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीता, फिर एशिया कप से हम बांग्लादेश से हार के फाइनल से बाहर हुए थे, और इस वर्ल्ड कप में भी क्या 2017 की चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के बाद बज़ाहिर हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया से भी हारे, न्यूजीलैंड से हारे, इंग्लैंड से हारे, पाकिस्तानी टीम का डाउनफॉल स्टार्ट हुआ आफ्टर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, क्योंकि स्टैट्स में तो यही दिखाई दे रहा है।
Next question, please.
सरफराज, अगर इस पूरी वर्ल्ड कप के कंपेन में एक पॉइंट पूछा जाए कि पाकिस्तान ने वो कौन सा पॉइंट मिस किया जिसकी वजह से आज ये सिचुएशन पाकिस्तान को देखना पड़ रही है?
देखिए ऑब्वियसली एक तो वेस्ट इंडीज़ वाला मैच है, लेकिन जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट मैच जो मुझे अगर अब हमारी इस पूरी जर्नी को देखें तो वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाला मैच था, जहाँ पे हमारी पोजीशन बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी थी. अगर हम उस मैच को जीत जाते तो आई थिंक पोजीशन बहुत ज़्यादा बेहतर होती. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाला मैच टर्निंग पॉइंट था, क्योंकि चीज़ें हमारे हाथ में थी और एज ए टीम हमने उस चीज़ को लूज़ किया, जिसकी वजह से
Okay, let's just put out the numbers for you as we'll then pick up from Sarfraz Ahmed's words. And I've always enjoyed his press conferences. He speaks quite frankly, does the Pakistan captain. And the scenarios to qualify for the semis: if they bat first and score 400, they must win by 316. The exact margin will alter and vary depending on the score, but that gives you an estimate. Well over 300 runs is what they need, and the margins will not work if they bat second, because they would have to win without a single ball being bowled, which is impractical. That's just how the net run rate calculations work. Now, Misbah, as I welcome you and join and have your thoughts on the show as well, it tends to happen once the World Cup has gone the other way. Questions come towards the Pakistani captain in particular. Do you think the criticism on Sarfaraz right now at this point is unwarranted?
I mean, it's the tradition. Whenever it happens in a World Cup like that, even just look at the previous experiences Pakistan had after the results of World Cup. That's normally the thought, what is going to happen. The first thing that always come into the mind of everyone is about captaincy and about the captain. I think if you look at the performance of Pakistan team, even in this World Cup, obviously we just made mistakes. We made selection mistakes and we made some strategical mistakes also. That's why we are at a stage where we are playing the last game with no hopes to go into the last four. Questions are there, but one man is not only the one who is responsible for all that. I mean, your coaching staff is there, selection committee is there, and your team is also part and parcel of that. I mean, those crucial moments where we could have won a couple of games, like Australian games, as Fraz already mentioned, it was almost in our hands. The way we just won the toss in that game, conditions were conducive for seam bowling, but the way we bowled and wrong lengths, and we just let Australia come out of that difficult times. Warner was struggling, Finch was struggling, and suddenly they got into form and they score runs. And then in batting department, we were in command at one stage. We just throw the match at that stage, and now it looks that, oh, we are not in the last four and we have no hope to just get in the last four. Small mistakes. Overall, if we see after the win of Champions Trophy, we just failed to build on that victory. That was a huge start for Sarfraz and Mickey Arthur as captain and coach. We could have really built a team with far better performances. Pretty, you could say, a bit unfortunate for Pakistan that the guys who were performing in the last couple of years, right before the World Cup, Hassan Ali, your top two batsmen, especially Fakhr, and a couple of other guys, Shaheen Afridi, there was a dip in the form, and we struggled. So, I mean, these questions obviously just come into mind, that what is going to happen, but we need to just think what is the right way forward for Pakistan. I mean, you don't just go with emotions to decide what we have to do, whether change in captaincy, change in few players. I think decisions just need to be logical going forward.
Questions that will come as this World Cup campaign is set to come down, and pertinent points that Misbah raises, and from experience that at times the gun is always pointed toward in the direction of the Pakistan captain, but there are deeper issues that need to be resolved. I hope the mood of the fans is still pretty good, and let's go over to Lords now. Bangladesh are set to play their first game at Lords, and I'm sure Mel Farrell will gauge the pulse of the Bangladeshi fans, and who better to start than engaging the man who knows the pulse of Bangladesh cricket. Mohammad Isam is with her, our ESPN Cricinfo Bangladesh correspondent. All yours, Mel.
Yeah, well, you talk about taking the pulse of the fans. I can tell you they are so excited. Don't you dare talk about it probably being a dead rubber, because they are so excited. There's kids here, and there's no bigger kid here than Mohammad Isam, who is so excited because he's covering his first match here at Lord's. I know what it must be like for you. What's it like for the guys who are playing?
Yeah, we heard Steve Rhodes talk about how some of the Bangladesh players, they were starstruck when they entered Lord's. The younger players, obviously, they're playing here for the first time in 9 years. It's their first ODI ever, and they took more than 100 photos of themselves around the ground.
That's almost as many as you took yesterday.
Yeah, so you could see in their Instagram and Twitter handles that they've taken so many photos in the balcony. Steve Rhodes talked about how they walked into the ground, they were looking at photos, they were looking at the balcony, they were looking at the outfield, everywhere. They were really, and I think that can inspire you at times. So it's a dead rubber, but it can lift you playing at Lord's. It lifted Tamim Iqbal all those years ago. He scored his 100 here, famously celebrated by telling the attendant to put his name on the honors board. So they looked at the honors board too, the younger players. So I think it's a great way to end the World Cup.
And of course, these two have some history, World Cup history in this country. It was at Northampton, not in Lord's. How significant might that be? Inspiring might that be?
Oh yeah, I've been to Northampton recently, and the county itself has celebrated that day. It's the last one day that they had ever hosted. Of course, that was a magical day for Bangladesh cricket. They won the game by 60 odd runs, and Pakistan were probably the best side in the world at that time, and beating them was I think that was a miracle. And maybe sometimes you can channel that sort of mentality into a dead rubber and think that, well, we should do it again.
Well, who knows what we're going to have here, but I can tell you one thing for absolute sure and certain: the fans are incredibly excited, so the atmosphere should be brilliant.
Yeah, we're going to come back to you, Mel, and we're also going to find out what those fans are feeling ahead of this game. But before that, viewers in the Caribbean, it's time to have a look at conditions. Lord's is going to host the final. This is one last warm-up for Lord's before the big showdown on Sunday, the 14th of July. Simon Dool and Ramiz Raja have you covered with ground and conditions. And the viewers on ESPN Cricinfo, stay with us. We just continue our chat. And I loved what Isam said, Ajit, about what Lord's can do to you as a player, especially someone who's entered for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, you could see from what you were saying the emotions the players must have had, particularly the younger ones. I think first time it is a special place. It's just so much history to it, but it is just there's something about that ground. Hopefully, it inspires them to play because there's nothing at stake. That, like he said, exact words, can inspire you to play at your best, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to having a good performance.
Any fond memories of Lord's at all? Anything comes to mind?
Played for Middlesex,
a
few games.
First Indian to play for Middlesex?
Yeah, first Indian to play for Middlesex.
Who's the second? Daniel Vettori, Lord's has its own charm. Remember the first time? You remember the first time you were?
Yeah, I think even as a jaded former cricketer, when you go back there, it's still fantastic. There's so many things to soak up, so many things that you enjoy. Going to the dressing rooms, wandering through the long room, looking back at the pavilion, or even looking towards the media centre. There's just so much there to look forward to.
All right, well, it's time for us to look forward to this game, in spite of the fact that it is a dead rubber. Maybe playing at Lord's, you'd expect Pakistan and Bangladesh to fill the ground. So we'll come to that the other side of the break. Short break on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. Toss coming up on the other side.
Who was your cricketing idol?
Imran Khan.
If you weren't a cricketer, what would you be?
Army.
Who's the best bowler you've ever faced?
McGrath.
Favorite holiday destination?
Maldives.
If you could eat only one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh God. Barbecue.
Who was the biggest prankster in the Pakistan squad?
Shoaib Malik.
If you could meet one sports person from another sport, who would it be?
Muhammad Ali.
If there was a movie made on you, who would you like to play your character?
Tom Cruise.
Favorite ODI innings?
Kanpur inning.
Favorite India versus Pakistan match of all time?
Kanpur.
One former cricketer you'd like to bat with?
Lara.
Any other nickname other than Boom Boom that you'd have liked?
Lala.
One artist you want to see perform live?
I missed that. Nusrat.
One teammate you'd never like to sit next to on a long haul flight?
Oh God. If I want to sleep, you know, if it's a long flight, if I want to sleep, then I don't want to see Misbah. He's talking too much. But he's a good guy.
One memorable moment as captain?
2011 World Cup.
Kohli, Smith, Root, Williamson. Who's the better batsman?
All top.
What do you tell people when they make jokes about your age?
Age is just a number.
One Indian cricketer you're good friends with?
I was with we spent a good time with UV, Baji, Zahir.
We're building up to Pakistan versus Bangladesh at Lord's, final game for both teams, unless of course Pakistan do the unthinkable and the unimaginable in this game. But let's focus on Bangladesh, who had such a wonderful World Cup, and it's a disappointment that they won't be able to go forward from here. But they've certainly taken big steps forward in the course of this World Cup with the bat. But there are still areas of concern with the ball, and as we have that discussion now with Ajit, Agarkar, Dan Vettori and Shahriar, Nafees, as well as Misbah-ul-Haq, we're looking at the least wickets in the first 20 overs in Bangladesh right on top. Even Afghanistan have managed 12 wickets in 8 innings. Bangladesh with just 7. And I guess that's one area, Shahriar, that I think at the post-mortem of the review of this Bangladesh team from the World Cup will look at. Just the power play bowling in the first power play and the wicket-taking ability.
Definitely, Bangladesh has been behind on this area. You know, if you look back to Bangladesh's performance in last 4 or 5 years, Bangladesh has been always taking wickets in first 20 overs. Mashrafi was in very, very good form, and he has been the best bowler for Bangladesh for last few years. But unfortunately, this is his last World Cup, and he will not want to remember this World Cup because how things have gone for him. Bangladesh has been behind in picking wickets. If you have spoken about Afghanistan in the other hand, the spinners they have picked up more wickets than Bangladesh. This is the area Bangladesh needs to put a lot of focus. You know, after this World Cup, the area I would like to see Bangladesh Cricket Board to work on is the bowling department. You know, the modern game of cricket is changing. In the most of the big tournaments, you will find the wickets where they prepare the pitch to score 350, 320, 330 runs. So nothing for the bowlers. In those kind of wickets, if you don't have extreme pace like Mitchell Stark or Joffrey Archer has got, or you are not skilled enough like Rashid Khan or Mujibur Rahman, you are going to struggle. Saqib Al Hasan, he doesn't turn the ball, he bowls the ball in the right areas, is very smart, that's why he has got some wickets. Mustafizur Rahman with those brilliant, outstanding wrist work, he is picking up wickets. So this is the area Bangladesh should put focus on.
Right, and it is something that they will take forward, and questions perhaps also on the captain, Mashrafi, just the bowler. And well, the first thing that's happened right for Pakistan today is that they're still alive in the competition because they won the toss and they decided they want to have a bat first. Had Bangladesh had a bat, then this game would have been done for Pakistan. It's still it's more than a mountain, it's 2 mountains to climb. but at least they've started with the toss going their way. Misbah, they won the toss, they're going to have a bat first, and they are unchanged, so there's no scope of playing a Mohammad Hasnain in what they could have viewed as an opportunity for him to at least have an outing. It's the same team that Pakistan have had in these last few games. So both Imad Wasim, who played that fine knock against Afghanistan, and Shaheen Afridi, who's picked up some form, keep their place. Now, you know what the equation is, Misbah. How do you approach this game? How do you approach this with the bat, knowing just the mountain that you have to climb?
Yeah, I think it's a sensible thing to just keep that winning team, the same 11, going into this important match. But I'm really worried about how Pakistan will approach this game, because in the press conference what Sarfraz was saying that, oh, we miracles can happen and we can just score 500 runs. That would be very crucial how they start this game. Is they are clear in their minds what they are going to do, whether they are going to win this game or they are going to just go for a miracle and try to score 500 runs. That will be a big question mark going into this game, because if you're thinking about scoring 500 runs and you are going to start the game like that, this game could be over in the first 10 or 15 overs. You lose so many wickets, and then obviously it will be a walk in the park for Bangladesh. So let's see how Pakistan will go. I mean, sensible approaches just to think about the game, and if you have to win by a margin of more than 300 runs, first you need to score 316 runs, and then you just think about 400 or 500 runs. 10 and over right from the start. I'm not sure whether it's going to happen. It ever happened in the history of cricket.
No, it's
and
never happened.
then you have to just get the team out on 100 and something. So it's a difficult task. So you should be clear as a team what you are going to do. Otherwise, you're going to struggle in this game.
Yeah, I like what you say, because if you're trying to go too hard, this could go horribly wrong as well. Misbah's mindful of that, Dan Vettori. It's in their head. That's the only way. You might as well go, all hammer and tongue. But the fact remains, if they lose this game, they're going to end behind Bangladesh on the points table. And then all this talk of Pakistan being closer just sounds, it lacks that much more luster.
I think Safar has mentioned 600 as well, didn't he? So 500, 600. So 500 might be on the conservative side. They could be going even harder. But I think Misbah's right. You want to win. I think there's that carrot at the end if you play really well. But ultimately, they just want to win the game.
All right, let's have a look at the Bangladesh playing 11-2 as we confirm that there are no changes to the Pakistan team. So they've got a strong batting lineup. Maybe someone like Asif Ali, I thought, could have been used if they genuinely want to have those ambitions to get 400, 420, but they've gone with the team that has won them games in the last few games in this World Cup. Let's have a look at the Bangladesh team. There are two changes, and the two players that were excluded from the game against India at Edgbaston. Mohammedullah had not recovered fully from an injury. He's back. So in spite of that run ball 36, Sabir Rahman misses out. And Mehdi Hassan comes in for Rubel Hossain, which was a tactical call made by Bangladesh on leaving the one spinner out and playing the extra seamer, looking at the boundaries and the surface at Edgbaston. India had done the same. Shahriar, just thoughts on that? That's the best team, I'm thinking, for Bangladesh?
Yeah, Bangladesh has picked their best 11. Mohammedullah couldn't play the last match. He was so crucial. Probably if he was there, he could have used his experience. So he's recovered from the injury and coming back. That was an automatic call. And in the Lords, with Pakistani, they have the left-handed batsman. So you will definitely put Mehdi Hassan Miraj in place of Rubel Hossain. So that's the best 11. This is the 11 has been playing so well for Bangladesh in this World Cup. Let's see if they can pull up a great win today.
Yeah, and their fans are still so very excited. Imagine beating the big brother in Pakistan and then going on to finish highest amongst the teams that don't make the semi-finals. That'll be a good thing for Bangladesh cricket to end with. So the fans are very excited. And Mel Farrell had the opportunity to catch up with them and also ask them what they make of Mashrafi Mortaza, the captain, given that this will be his last World Cup match, and given that there are still questions on Mashrafi's declining abilities with the ball. But make no mistake, they have no doubt about what he adds as captain.
Have you come here to see Mashrafi? Do you think this could be his last game?
Possibly, but I hope not. He has been a great captain and he's been an inspiration for all of us, honestly.
How about you? How do you feel about Mashrafi?
We are going to win today. That is our challenge. Bangladesh, joy, Bangla.
Yes, definitely. He's performed very well for the last 2 World Cups, and this World Cup we have high hopes for him.
I'll be very disappointed if it is going to be his last match. I hope Bangladesh will win today, sir.
Oh, he's an excellent captain. We're proud for him. We wish today we're going to win the match. Thank you. This is the last game for him. So we always support him. Doesn't matter how he's ball or something like that. With our win, doesn't matter we win or lose. This is the last game he's in, and we are proud of him. We'll win today. Inshallah, we'll beat Pakistan.
I think he's our legend. Especially he's a captain, but he done 18 years too much, tremendous. He's maintained our cricket team and Bangladesh team. I am wishing him, and this is his, I think, World Cup, especially the World Cup, his final World Cup for him. And we want to beat Pakistan and we want to celebrate for Mashrafi.
Mashrafi, 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 Mashrafi.
I love it. I love it. Shahriar, no wonder he's a member of parliament. If that's the sort of support he enjoys, everyone's going to vote for him. He could be playing while he's 50. I should revise my words. Maybe this won't be his last World Cup game.
Now, first of all, we are very lucky that all those matches we have had those conversation about Mashrafi in the studio, not among the people. You know, he has become a member of parliament, but he has served greatly the Bangladesh cricket. So, you know, all those years with those injuries and with all of the problems, missing out a World Cup at home, he has been an outstanding player. It's very sad, and I'm very sad because he didn't have a good World Cup. Because, you know, when you are going to retire or you're like going to in your end, you want to finish well. But this World Cup, Mashrafi just didn't have a single match which he can remember. But still, he has been a great leader, great cricketer for Bangladesh, great brand ambassador. I would like to wish him all the best of luck in the coming future.
Yeah, well, Mashrafi Mortaza has been the glue that's held this Bangladesh team together. He's not been among the wickets himself, as Shahriar points out, an average that he'd not want to look at in terms of bowlers that haven't done well in the World Cup in the first power play, and just the solitary wicket in the entire tournament against England, that of Johnny Bairstow. But it's been compensated for with the sort of form that Shakib Al Hasan has been in. We're looking at Mortaza on an all-time list, which is in the year 2019, an average of 315. Arjuna Ranatunga is on that list, Asif Karim from Kenya, Santha Timel. So let's keep this as a special list, which we don't want to look at for Mashrafi. He's been such a great servant of Bangladesh cricket. Now let's take a look at Shakib Al Hasan. In my word, what a tournament he's had. 500 plus runs and 25 plus wickets in World Cups. This is a list you would want to be part of. It features Imran Khan, Kapil Dev, Sanat Jayasuriya, Stephen Waugh as well, and Shakib Pips, the former Aussie captain, at number 2. This is probably the coming of Shakib Al Hasan. It's been coming for a while, but now this is as good as he's ever been.
I think putting him to number 3 has, not only given him that little push that he needed, maybe that extra responsibility. Some people react to it better. You always know that he's been a terrific player for Bangladesh. Probably Bangladesh is arguably their best ever player.
Yeah.
But you never have seen in one tournament that sort of performance from him, and big performances. So incredible. I think what he's achieved for Bangladesh, I think he's been the reason that Bangladesh has played so well in this World Cup, or batted so well in this World Cup.
Especially in the UK as well. I think people had expectations on him being that great in the subcontinent, but to bring all that form to a tournament in the UK, bat 3, to be their best bowler, it's a phenomenal effort.
I'd say he's the best left-arm spin all-rounder since you.
Me?
Yeah. Hasn't he? Cricket's blessed to have him. You're still recovering from that. You weren't expecting that,
I'll say, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, what Bangladesh would want is to replicate the sort of consistency that Shakib's shown in other aspects of their game too. It's time we leave our viewers in the Caribbean for live action now. It's at Lord's, which is going to host the final in a while. Keep an eye on the pitch and conditions. And we, of course, will be back with Ajit, Agarkar, Daniel Vettori, Shahriar, Nafees and Misbah-ul-Haq for our halftime show on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019. If Pakistan have got 600. Wow. and viewers on ESPN Cricinfo, stay with us. We continue our chat with these fine gentlemen, and we also have some more numbers that we want to dig up to. We also want to show you a few more things about what's going on outside Lord's with regards to the enthusiasm of the fans. And if we are to just look at other aspects of Pakistan's game too, and just figure which way that their campaign could go after the World Cup. And senior players tend to call it a day at the end of World Cups, and Pakistan would look at the likes of Mohammad Nafees, who now is 38 years old, and we're looking at the sort of role he was given. And Misbah, World Cups always tend to bring the curtain down on a lot of cricketers that have played for so many years. Mohammad Nafees still looks like he can keep going. He looks so fit. He's still contributing with bat and ball. But since that promising 84, that match-winning 84 against England, it's just gone off a bit. He's been given a huge role to bat at 4 for Pakistan. I wonder what you've made of his tournament and what role you see for Mohammad Nafees in Pakistan cricket going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a big question because he got the ideal start after being out of the game for such a long time with that fractured thumb. But the way he just came back and put a match-winning performance against England, after that everybody was expecting, and obviously Hafiz would have expected much more from himself going into this World Cup campaign, but he could not capitalize on that performance against England. And after that he was going very well against Australia, and even in the next game against South Africa and Afghanistan he was set, but soft dismissals that just not only cost Pakistan but also that cost Hafiz. Obviously when you are a senior player, and it probably looked like that it's going to be his last World Cup. Maybe he will just continue for a year and a half or maybe 2 years, couple of years for one-day cricket, but overall it doesn't look like that he's going to play the next World Cup. He will be really disappointed by the performances. He could have really capitalized on that, performed much more better than what he did in this World Cup with consistency, and could have won a couple of more games for Pakistan. When you are a senior player, I mean, me and Yunus Khan used to be in that sport for such a long time. People just want consistency from you, and once you just fail in couple of innings, then there are no excuses for yourself as a senior player, and that's something which everybody expects from a senior player. And obviously that was missing in this tournament from Hafiz. After that one good performance, he could not really perform in that match-winning manner for Pakistan. So let's see how Pakistan will go for the next World Cup, our future in one-day cricket. Obviously, once the World Cup is over, you just think to build a team for the next in the next 3-4 years for the next World Cup, and then it is really difficult for someone like who is 38, 39 to continue in the team.
Well, it's one last game perhaps for Mohammad Hafiz to show his value and perhaps not get out to a part-time spin option or an innocuous delivery, which is something that's haunted him in the last few games in this World Cup. The Cricket World Cup's coming to a close now in its league phase, and it's becoming more and more about the fans, as it should be, as the premier tournament in cricket should be. Mel Farrell at Lord's has now had the privilege of meeting some very special fans who've come to watch this game.
Well, we're about to see a little bit of history here at Lord's today. The first time in 230 years that the MCC is allowing school children into the members stand for a major international match. And I've got three of the lucky kids around here who are all from schools around this area. First, I've got Halima. Tell me, who are you supporting today?
I'm supporting Pakistan today.
Yeah, and how are you feeling about being here?
It's really thrilling. It's exhilarating.
Yeah? What, have you been a cricket fan for a long time?
Yeah, I've been playing for about a year now. Yeah. And
who is your favourite player then in the Pakistan team?
the captain, Sarfaraz Ahmed. He's really inspirational.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Now I've got Mohammed. One guess as to who you're supporting. That's some pretty special bandana work you've got going there. So why do you support Bangladesh?
Because they're like really strong and like they're really inspiring to me.
Yeah.
And
What does it mean to you to come and see them in a World Cup at Lord's?
it means everything to me because it's my first ever match here.
Wow. What are you most excited about?
Seeing the players and watching them ball and bat.
Who's your favourite player?
Shakib Al-Hassan.
Yes, that, my friend, is the correct answer. And over here, very, very excited young man, George. I can tell by your cheeks who you're supporting. Why are you supporting Pakistan today?
I just feel so inspired by their teamwork and like their batting. They're just good at every type of part in cricket gaming.
Have you ever been to Lord's before?
Only once before in a cricket trip, and I felt very keen on seeing everything. At the end, I just felt so like happy in the inside, going to one of the greatest cricket places in the world.
And who is your favourite player in the Pakistan side?
Oh, that's a tough question because I like all of them. I can't really decide.
Oh, well, there you go. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you guys? 10. 10 out of 10. I'm sure that they're going to have a fantastic day, guys. Enjoy your first game at Lord's.
Well done, Lords, and well done, Mel Farrell, and well done to the MCC, who, like Mel says, for the first time are opening the member stands for school children. That only was for the rich and elite and privileged like Ajit Agarkar and Daniel Vettori. Nice step this.
Very nice, actually. What a nice day it must be for them, especially with the teams that they support. It is a special place to watch cricket as well. So hopefully they get a good game.
Excellent. You're not bothered to respond to my rich and privileged side. Let's move on from there. And let's predict this game. Pakistan v Bangladesh. Let's see what our experts panel has made of it in ESPN Cricinfo Cricket Picks.
Put your tipping to the test. Play Cricket Picks, the new predictor game from ESPN Cricinfo. Make predictions and track your progress throughout the tournament. The easiest thing you'll do all day. Go to espncricinfo.com/cricketpicks and play today.
Okay, we've got Shahriar in the company of Dan Vettori and Albi Mokal for Bangladesh, and Ajit is backing Pakistan. So too is Murli Karthik, so both the Middlesex legends are on one page. Graham Swan and Darren Ganga there as well. Excellent. I know where Misbah would stand on this. He would hope for Pakistan to get this win. Let's also quickly tell you that in this Cricket World Cup, why just watch the match? You can play it too. Check out Hotstar Watch and Play. Super cool innovation that lets you invite your friends, predict every ball, chat about the match all in one place. And if winning the prediction is enough, you get to win amazing prizes too. Right, this is where we wrap. Misbah, final word from you. The score that Pakistan would be looking at, 500, 400. Do you want them to start steady though?
That is a difficult call, and you might see in the first couple of overs what Pakistan is basically looking at. But obviously, if they had the same team, so they would be thinking about just winning the game. Because if they were just thinking about 500, they could have just put Asif Ali and they would have changed the team a little bit. So let's see. Let's just they should just go with the logic instead of just thinking about a miracle.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Misbah. This is the biggest smile I've seen on you in this World Cup, so I'm glad. Let's keep that smile going. Let's hope Pakistan put in a good shift, and we'll talk about their innings at halftime. Shahriar, Nafees, one final word from you as well. Score that Bangladesh would like to keep Pakistan to?
Something around 280, 290 will be good for Bangladesh. I would hope that Mashrafi bowls well today and Saqib get a good game so that he can put up so good performance today, so that he's right up there and leading all this list of the players.
Brilliant. Shakib to end the honours with bat and ball. They're also in their new away jersey, Bangladesh, wearing more red than green. This is the away kit for them, and we'll pick up this chat with Shahriar, Misbah as well as Dan Vettori and Ajit Agarkar at halftime on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019.